Oh. Right. Oh. Hello guys, how's it going? HatCHeTHaZ. Welcome back to the channel. So tonight we are going to check out the Town of Light. This has been out for quite a while, but I got this free when I got the deluxe edition to Martha is Dead. So yes, I believe it's from the same developers of that game, so I thought I'd check it out. I believe this is based on events that happened in a Tuscan insane asylum that was shut down in 1978, I believe, due to cruel practices. So yeah, this might be quite a sensitive subject, so just to warn you. Right, just make sure everything's hunky-dory. Yep. So yeah, it is a psychological horror. Might be able to do this in one sitting, so I don't know, but yeah, let's get to it. Town of Light is based on real events, places and research concerning mental illness and the life of patients in lunatic asylums from the beginning of the 20th century until their closure. It contains stories which may be disturbing. The characters and names are fictitious, and reference to people living or dead is coincidental. This game uses an artistic interpretation of a former Italian psychiatric institution for dramatic purposes. Please note that mental health services have radically improved around the world, and they have. If you think you may have psychological problems, please speak to a local doctor or specialist. Do that. Do that. Doesn't make you weak if you seek help. It does not. So let's get to it. Volterra, 1942.
What's happened? What is this place? Maybe I'm dead. I can't see any light. Maybe I am dead. I can't get up. What's going on? What's happening to me? There's no one here, but these noises. God, my head is killing me. I can't keep my eyes open.
Reality fades away and my skin has gone. Every breath of wind is excruciatingly painful. Yo, Lewis. How are we diddling? Inspired by real events. Tuscany, 2016. Experience. Doing good. So that's the flashlight. Okay. Boing. Looks like the PS4 era is coming to an end soon. Hey. Seems that way, doesn't it? Back on the rusty bench. I wanna go. I wanna go. I'm going to horses. Start releasing PS4 titles soon. Interesting. Blech. Well, I suppose it was bound to happen sooner or later. I mean, they can concentrate on the actual next gen now, you know what I mean? Gonna pick that up. But yeah, this is a PS4 game, guys, just to let you know. So now I have to get a PS5. I suppose you don't have to. I mean, suppose they still have the store. Suppose maybe. Ow, my face. Disgusting. It's a bit. That's true. That is true. That is true. Well, if you plan on getting one, I'd recommend trying to get one now, considering it's on sale. Wired Productions presents The Town of Light. Campo. What's the price of it now? It's on sale. Ooh. Well, over here, bear with me. Just bear with me. Right here on the on the site that I use, Shop2, there's PlayStation 5 console with either Death Stranding Director's Cut or Ghost of Tsushima for £398.85. So, considering you live over there, yeah, I'm sure you can do the math. Jesus Christ, there's one here, you can get the PlayStation 5 console, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, right? The price for this, £479.85. That's just because it's got Call of Duty with it. What a joke. What a fucking joke. Anyway. I suppose you'd have to have a browse. Pretty flower.
This place. Time. Memory.
Yeah, I have a feeling God is the Jesus Christ of games. The world will end if God does not exist. Call of Duty is a fucking joke. Yes, it is. Hello. Does anyone play COD for story mode anymore? I mean, I would, but they don't put as much effort into them anymore, do they? They're short now, aren't they? They're really short campaigns. It's like, no, thank you. I ain't wasting all my money just for a few hours. That's a lot of stuff. What was that noise? Chelsea! The first page. Yeah, true. True, true.
My memory of those years is
Ah,
hazy. Between the age of about 7 and 10, my memories are disconnected, and I couldn't say how many times and how frequently the light used to come. My mother gave me a doll around that time. Charlotte. Thinking back to it makes me want to laugh. But at the beginning, I remember that I was afraid of her. I thought she wanted to harm me, to kill me and take my place. But when the light came, she would did not disturb me. I was able to talk to her, and so she became my best friend. At least until I was in grade 2, when everything changed. She didn't laugh at me, and if I had to say something to my mother, I asked her to say it. When things inside me turned bad, she was the only one I could turn to. Now all of this makes me blush, but Charlotte was a real friend to me. I knew that she was just a doll. I wasn't stupid, but at the same time, she was real too. I don't know how to explain it. It's difficult. My mother would cuddle her and tell her things. I guess she was trying to communicate with me. But back then, I was too afraid to understand it.
okay. I think Lewis, regarding Call of Duty, I think that's what this whole situation is with the partnership with Xbox and PlayStation and Call of Duty. That's what's going to happen. I reckon they're going to phase out the campaign and just focus out on multiplayer. I think that's why they're having hissy fits about. I want to play it. There's no power.
The only thing I remember clearly is Charlotte, my doll.
Charlotte, my dolly. Just keep it. Urinals. That would be freaky if you opened that and there was someone there.
This looks like a cozy place.
She's locked.
No, she's freezing. She's alone. Let's look for her.
Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. There is no power. The Calm Women Ward. What a bloody name to call a place. Hello. Anything? Ah. Okay. Ring ring.
Let's search the wards on the upper floor. There's a plan on the wall which shows their location.
Their location? Bloody hell, it's still working. Ow. Do I chance it? Beep. Oh. No. No. Ah. Ooh. E. Ooh. Ha. Ouch. The actual fuck. Yeah, no wonder this place got shut down. Oh, it's not on sale there yet.
Let's find Charlotte. She's alone. She's alone in the dark.
You think it'd be on sale right there? Charlotte.
Mummy took good care of Charlotte. She tucked her in, hugged her, gave her cuddles and kisses. She was very
It's only for the standard
affectionate and
version.
loving.
Ah, right.
Nothing bad happened to Charlotte.
Which one would you rather have? Standard or digital?
At first, I was quite scared. I was afraid that she wanted to hurt me. I lived in constant fear that Mom would abandon her. Because I didn't deserve to live. I didn't deserve to be loved.
Yeah.
It's cold and it's dark. Look, she's cold. She'll get ill. We can take care of her. Nobody can stop us. Charlotte is a good girl.
Can I put you away? That's just May. Oh, fair dues. Fair dues. Disgusting. Ah. They're still alive whilst they're doing all that. Shit me. I'll take the keys. No. It will be at some point.
He doesn't want to. Not Charlotte.
Oh.
Those lamps could make the room warmer. But Charlotte's not happy. She doesn't feel well.
God damn it.
Charlotte is cold. Let's take her somewhere warm.
Okay. Where do I need to take you?
I saw a wheelchair on the ground floor.
Oh,
It's
yes, we did.
comfortable there, and we can put Charlotte somewhere warm.
God said you!
Charlotte will be comfy here. But it's cold. No, it's cold. Don't shiver, Charlotte. The cold will go away. It'll go away.
Going up. Oh, well, the arrow said up. Which way was it? This way?
The cold has gone away now, you see? The light, the warmth. We can do it. The cold will go away. It has to. Now we can enter the ward where everything started. It all began in the observation ward on the ground floor.
Right-ho. Observation. Oh, it looks like the corridor's just going there. Really? Oh shit. Whoa, that's trippy. Spider-Man. Blind.
One day I turned off the light, but it didn't go dark. It was a limitless immensity, a blinding, merciless light. I was 16 years old, and I was afraid, always afraid, a fear that wore me down. I needed help, but I couldn't speak. I was terrified of everything, even thinking. They said they were taking me to a place where the fear would go away, where I would get better.
At the age of 16.
I stopped living in there. They dragged me away and stripped off all my clothes, everything. I tried to explain what was going on in my head. They tied me to the bed for days. I was alone with my nightmares. It wasn't fear anymore. It was madness. And when you're mad, you cease to exist.
boobies in the corner there.
She was my only hope in this hell. I was descending down, down among the damned. But that woman and her smile kept me alive.
Harlequin. I should be joking. Oh. Okay. Chapter 3. Already.
The door is locked from the outside.
God damn it.
Here the doors can only be locked and unlocked from the outside.
Run away from me.
You can't get out of here. Only the dead can leave this place.
That sounds about right. Locked, locked. Locked, locked. That's a bit disturbing. Oh, okay. Thought I was in a cutscene then. Give me back my doll, you piece of shit.
He laughed, panted, and slobbered all over me. It hurt me when he touched me. I thought I'd suddenly split open with a loud crack, and I would be shattered into pieces. I felt fragile, sick, dirty, degraded. All I could do was clutch Charlotte tightly while he... Renee obeyed. He was the master in the realm of light. I was being consumed by the evil act I had committed. I threw up and could feel hell getting closer and closer. Those tests the doctors did to me. They said there was something growing inside, and they wanted to drag it out of me.
So, getting her pregnant at 16 in a mental asylum. No wonder this place got shut down. Jesus fucking Christ. Dirty fuckers. Every last one of them. Just been in there. You are here. Open all the lockers, apart from the ones that are locked, obviously. Simple person, not educated, I feel embarrassment right to you. I do wonder if there were certain staff members that actually reported what was going on in this place. That's the reason why it's shut down. Um,
He felt accused, hurt. I chased him away. I insulted him. He was proud, handsome. He said things about me to other people, which he shouldn't have said. Mother caught me coming home drunk. She beat me and sent me to speak to Don Gino every day. He came back and tried to speak to me. I think he liked me. Sometimes I sent him packing and I started shouting at him, but other times I embraced him. I held him tight and loved him. But he couldn't bind himself to me. I was 16 and ill. I had no future. I didn't get out of bed for weeks. Then I did things I was ashamed of. I slept with men. The guilt tore at my soul, and the light came back to torture me. I invented stories to justify my actions. I couldn't bear my own weight. Mom found out about it. Her voice split my head. I pushed her away because I was afraid of dying, and I shouted to the whole world what was happening to me, and that I didn't understand. The police arrived, and they carted me away. I remember the onlookers shaking their heads. They would be better off without me, cleansed of shame, with something to talk about for a while.
Oh, excuse me.
She stayed with Renee during those terrible medical examinations, and that gave her the strength to survive.
Okay. The sound of birds. Oh. What was that? Oh, I've been in here. Go back upstairs then. Oh, what the fuck? That's disturbing.
August 21st, 1938. Confidential. Dear A, I know what you think about these things,
Is that
so I'm referring a
hysterectomy?
patient to you, Renee T.
This wretched girl got out of control and caused trouble in the grounds. She's almost 3 months pregnant. The nurses should be more alert. I'm examining the girl on the 28th. I'll handle things very carefully, don't worry. We don't want to make matters worse.
Then they said that Renee was crazy, and that the illness was all in her head.
Careful, little girl, careful.
I was scared, and I didn't talk to anyone about the illness. Only her. Not even the other doctor. He never touched Renee. He just wrote things down.
You can tell me everything. Don't be afraid,
he said.
Everything's going to be fine. Do you want to know what I am writing? I note down what I observe in you, everything I see.
He didn't hate Renee. He tried to help her, but he rarely examined her in those small surgeries.
So I'm assuming that was their cruel way of doing either a hysterectomy or abortions, because they were getting the patients pregnant. Cigarettes.
June 1935. After much theorizing and practice in clinics for the privileged, the moment for action has finally arrived. Volterra is the right place. It's an avant-garde hospital, the perfect place for a doctor who really wants to make a difference. November 20th. Crossing the threshold of the asylum was similar to entering another dimension. A world of smells, noises, and images which it is almost impossible to imagine, describe, or explain. August 1936. The situation is similar to that in many other institutions. The department is overcrowded. Hundreds of patients are supervised by a handful of nurses who are forced to tie the more distressed ones to their beds or to radiators. They do 24-hour shifts. It's impossible to work like this. We doctors rarely see the female patients, and it's the nurses who tell us what's happening to the women. The overpowering stench in the wards, the constant din of shouts and voices that are barely recognizable as human, dirty, naked bodies devoid of any dignity. The lunatic asylum gets under your skin and wears you down. I often consider resigning. I feel useless, impotent, a sort of merciful jailer, a mercy that helps no one and only helps to ease my conscience. March 15th, 1938. Dramas are played out before my eyes every single day, and I try to distance myself from them, and just do the best I can. But a girl arrived some days ago. I couldn't avoid her gaze. All she asked in her dignified silence was not to be ripped away from her world. And me. I'm old enough to be her father, the father she never had, who didn't want her, who rejected her without even knowing her. I, too, refused what she asked me. I couldn't do anything but add my signature and consign her to hell. A danger to herself and to others, and a cause of public scandal. This was what was written on the accompanying note from the police headquarters. It was difficult not to agree with it. How much more violence must this poor girl be subjected to? Her gaze is so intense, so far removed from the carefree nature which should be the joyous hallmark of her age. I cried myself to sleep in my solitude. I kept thinking about those sad and frightened eyes staring at me.
Jesus.
My name is Renee. They told me that I have to write this diary, but I don't feel like it. It's not true that I feel better when I write. Actually, it's worse. I was a shy girl, and I just wanted to be like the others. But that's not what happened. No. I did things that, when I think about them now, eventually brought me. Everything started with that damned light. It happened for the first time when I was still a little girl. I was 6 or 7. I was walking outside school when suddenly the noise started to melt into an indistinct rumble. The light increased out of all proportion and everything lost its meaning. I could no longer recognize anything. Objects, people, words, not even myself. I felt fear as a physical sensation. It prevented me from moving, from swallowing, from breathing. After God knows how long, everything went back to normal. But a new fear replaced the old one. Different but terrible. Of the light coming back. And it did come back.
March 12th, 1938.
Renee T., 16 years old. Menstruation at age 12. Housewife. Father unknown. Mother a seamstress.
Admitted in observation yesterday morning from Pontedera, accompanied by a police officer authorized by the examining magistrate of the Court of Pisa to be admitted for a psychiatric evaluation, which I have carried out. Medical certificate. Mental illness preceded by warning signs. Has suffered from depression for a year, believing she had tuberculosis. Food deprivation. We can't read this document. It is forbidden. We mustn't. If they find out, there will be trouble. We have to look for Amara. We must hurry. We have to follow the memories and make sure they don't fade. She is frightened, hears noises and ghosts, presents serious signs of anxiety psychosis, suffers from hallucinations. She is anxious, confused, her expression is distressed, a questioning look as if terrified, disoriented. She feels confused, hears voices shouting in her head. She doesn't understand things properly. She has been feeling unwell for 2 or 3 months. When questioned, she replies, "My mother wants to hurt me. I am always scared of her. She chases me." "Why are you here?" "I argued with my mother and was so upset that I felt like my head was spinning. There was a woman there who wanted to force me into a life of prostitution. They wanted to condemn me to be burned at the stake. Children whispered, called my name." March 16th. She couldn't sleep last night. They wanted to condemn her to be burned at the stake. April 4th. Transferred to the calm ward, still under my supervision. "Yes, that's true. The ward where Amara was. Yes, the stake. The children wanted to burn Renee. She had to pay for what she'd done, like witches at the stake." So many things frightened me. The system that I lived in was built on fear and light. There was no mercy or understanding in the town of light. April 21st. She's more awake this morning and is responding to questions, complains of headaches. She became agitated when she found out her mother was there. She says that one day, many years earlier, she was with a friend of hers and met a man who made her get into a car.
I don't know what that means with the symbols that come up. I don't know.
He made her smoke cigarettes and drink
It's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't
and the
know.
man showed her certain things. He tried to hurt her and made her go crazy. She says he promised to marry her and made her swear to keep what had happened a secret. These facts were essentially confirmed by her mother. After that, she became arrogant, impatient, and hostile towards her family, especially her mother. She started taking off her clothes in public. Her moods would swing from laughter to tears. She rants. She pleasures her. I knew it even then. And her body remained rigid. Voluntary attention almost totally absent. Probable hallucinations. Find the full medical records.
Trophy.
The grounds at the back of the hospital, and then down to the kitchens.
Wanna double check. I checked all them, didn't I?
This is the road we used to take. If it weren't for her, in the grounds on that bench in spring, so many days. It was an escape, watching nature around us as she talked and smiled. And then there were the kitchens. Sometimes we stole food and ran back to the bench to eat it in secret, and we laughed.
Nope.
She did things to me. Sometimes she touched me. In the shower, I felt her body against mine for the first time. It was a shiver that warmed my soul. Eyes closed, the light slipped away.
Lovers.
She wasn't in the system. He wouldn't let her in. That's it. She must be the key to my memories, to the reasons why.
Trophy. Ooh, excuse me.
Nature helped me to forget, to escape from the system.
In stone benches. I can't run, just to let you know. Right, so I guess it would go this way.
The scent of spring. The land of light was far away, and we spent the days chatting on the stone benches.
Double check. Can I actually go up here? Oh, go down. Well, we can a bit. Then we can fall down. Rail. Number 4. Let's try.
He told me about Bruna's father and brother, but I was already very ill. The light had returned, and that thing made me suffer even more. It was my world, and it was crumbling. When I spoke to Bruna about it, she turned her head away and was silent for a long time. Prince Charming doesn't exist, Renee. At least not for us. I was 14 years old. I didn't think it was possible for a boy to look at me and desire me. When he asked me if I wanted to go for a walk, I didn't say anything. I didn't even have the courage to look at him.
So handsome.
Things improved for a number of years. Then, suddenly, everything came crashing down. One evening I came home drunk, and the following morning a terrible crisis overcame me, all of a sudden. What had I done? I was terrified. I thought I'd lost my sight. The light burned my eyes from inside. The memories of the previous day emerged in bursts, images, flashes, which unleashed something monstrous inside me. Repetition of words was no longer sufficient. Now there was a voice in my head which repeated them louder than I did, and they were words of accusation and blame. So I covered my ears and shouted and hit my head against the wall and threw up. I remember the doctor, the wall filthy with blood and vomit. My mother wasn't looking at me. Bruna was crying but trying to hide it. Charlotte was beside me. I never told anyone what had happened. He came to visit me, but I refused to see him. I became agitated. I think he liked me, even though things turned out badly. In that period, I began to suffer from memory loss. The few things I learned didn't please me at all. He told me that I was looking for him. It was all my fault. Bruna told me that sometimes I got drunk. People in the village gossiped about me. Sometimes I was covered in black and blue marks. I didn't realize what was happening to me, what I was doing. I was no longer in control of my life. From my little corner.
Mm. Okay then. Trophy. Oh, I think those are the kitchens, so...
Let's look for Amara in the kitchens in the basement of the building, behind the greenhouse.
Oh, we need to go that way now. Excuse me.
Come on, let's look everywhere. She must be here, I'm certain.
How do, Bengal? Yes, safe and well. Healthy, well, healthy as we can be. How were you diddling?
Keep looking. We mustn't give up.
Mustn't give up. Mustn't.
Where could she be? We've got to talk to her. Everything will be all right. But being here now, I don't like it. Come on, let's look for her quickly.
I no longer considered my body as something disgusting and ill. Far from it. I began to look at myself, to caress myself, and smell my own skin.
I must help you sleep.
I began to
Struggling.
explore and experiment, finding physical pleasure.
As long as they're working.
My ideas were not very clear, and I never spoke to anyone about these things. Bruna, however, spoke about them. She boasted about her love stories and her young men. To my eyes, she was very lucky, always being wooed by marvelous, generous, and kind boys. Thus, I fantasized about her adventures, pretending that I was the main protagonist. But how could I ever be like her? By marvelous, generous, and kind boys.
Hey.
By marvelous, generous, and kind boys. Thus, I fantasized about her adventures, pretending that I was the main protagonist. But how could I ever be like her? Occasionally I recall that she had black and blue marks on her body, but I was so naive that I did not understand. I did not put two and two together. It was Don Gino who explained things to me a few years later.
Mm-hmm. Well, we know what happened there then.
We can't stay in here too long. They'll find us. When they found us... Come on, hurry. We've got to find her quickly. We've got to get out of here. They'll find us. But not now. Not yet. Amara's not here. Maybe she's in the showers. We can find her there. The water was often cold. When it was cold, we ran away. But when it was hot, then she came to Renee under that cruel white light. I can still feel the shivers her body gave me. Everything must return to how it was. If we recreate that magic, she'll come to us.
Do you believe in magic? No idea.
Now we have water. We must switch the boiler on.
The boiler switch. Where's the boiler switch? I don't know what the boiler switch is. Downstairs, down here. The fuck is that noise? Oh, my. What? Two times switch. Then. I got that. We got them on, haven't we? 5. And that. Oh. Alright, I don't know. Ah.
Now everything is ready. We can go to the bathrooms. We can go along that narrow corridor in the kitchens. We'll meet her in the showers, yes.
In the showers. Which is... Ah. This way. No, it's about a mental asylum, a Tuscan mental asylum based on actual events of the closure of it because of the cruelty that the patients received. We've been in there, haven't we? Indeed, it is. It is indeed. It has had some disturbing images. Disgusting. But yeah, I got this free when I got the deluxe edition of Martha Is Dead, so I'm assuming it's made by the same people. I think this might have been their first game. been in there, hasn't it? Well, we ain't going that way. Funders. Showers. Okay. That's a bit creepy. 1930.
I didn't tell anyone about the light. I knew that something terrible was happening to me. I thought that I would die, and the shame I felt was so deep that an uncontrollable restlessness took over me. I was afraid when other people were nearby. I saw fingers pointed at me, mouths laughing, condemning me. I tried to be alone. I would sit down on the ground and, curled up in the dark, I would repeat a word, any word, in continuation. This helped me not to think, not to lose myself. I would spend entire days like this, hoping that my mother would ignore me. Her compassionate words hurt me and terrorized me even more, and so I had to shout and shout and shout those words. After a few days, things got better, and little by little I came out of my hiding place. But the fear was always there, under the surface, ready to strike me even harder.
Oh, the dog's dreaming.
Everything's ready. Let's get undressed and leave our clothes on the hooks in the changing rooms.
Big pardon. Blind.
Let's turn the water
Memories.
on now, and everything will be as before.
Where is it? Where's the switch? I need to find something. No, I don't know. Oh, it's Oh. That's us.
Amara was the only thing Renee had.
Oh, shit.
They separated them. Renee went to the slightly agitated ward, the one that terrified everybody.
Semi-agitated ward.
Those injections were a torture, the just punishment for what I was doing.
And what about her? Who knows where Amara was?
They had taken me upstairs into the ward where no one wanted to go.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look for Renee's room in the slightly agitated ward.
Upstairs or downstairs? I don't know. Excuse me. Oof. Yo, Kazim, my boy, my boy. Oh, that's the bathroom. We don't need to go up there. So I'm guessing we go upstairs. I think. What was that? Diddling fine. Diddling fine. How are you diddling? Was it his last room? I think. Been in there, haven't we? Bit tired. Bit tired. Which way do we go? I do not know. Na, na, na. Oh, here we go. I'm guessing we're going the right way.
When there was too much chaos, they closed all the windows and the door. They turned off the lights, and it was pitch black. Some people fell asleep. Some others stopped seeing their demons and became more calm.
As you do. Oh, hello.
Montefoscoli, December 20th, 1941. Dear Director, could you please let me know how my daughter, your patient Renee T., is getting along? I've written to my daughter several times, but have received no reply. I'm very worried, particularly as I've been ill for some time and have not been well enough to come and visit her. Please kindly let me know when it will be possible for me to bring my daughter home. Your humble servant, Ada T. Bring this letter to the attention of Dr. C so he can assess the potential discharge of the patient.
Not delivered. Typical. Supposed shock therapy. Must be missing something. I don't know. I must be missing something. What am I looking for? What am I looking for? I don't know. Do apologise, guys. We will get there. Even if I have to look it up. Bear with me. My dog wants to go out, I think. 2 ticks. Righty-ho, back. Right, let's check this out. I do apologise, I'm just looking it up. Okay. Right, hang on, is it this one? Upstairs. There we go.
They put a straitjacket on you. They gave you a cold shower. They suffocated you with a sheet. tied you to the bed. They tied me to the bed. A woman died next to me, choked by her own vomit. She was tied down because she wouldn't stop pleasuring herself. I can still hear her death rattle. I screamed, but nobody came. Everybody screamed in there, all of them. It was then I saw the doll, which wasn't Charlotte. No, she wasn't Charlotte.
Oh, really?
The past was like the present. That doll, that man, the shame. Renee was increasingly divorced from reality. How will I ever find out what really happened? How will I ever find Amara again if I can't even find myself?
Okay.
Montefoscoli, November 12th, 1939. My dear daughter, it is with great sadness that I heard what happened. Your transfer and your sufferings are a cause of great worry for me. It will take time, but you'll see, things will improve. They'll treat you and you'll get better again. I pray a lot, every day. Write to me often and tell me if you need anything. I promise I'll do what I can. Try to be strong. Mom. This is the last letter she wrote to me. Once I was put into this ward, I was overwhelmed by loneliness. After that medical examination, I received no more letters from Mom. Why is that man here? Why doesn't she come to see me? Did I make a mistake? It didn't seem like she wanted to abandon me. What did I do wrong? I'd like to be able to reply to her again now, to change things. Perhaps she would have listened to me. Will she reply? The letters were sent to the archive. It was their job to post them.
Oh, they're all open now. Wakanda forever.
The light often came when I was at school, turning my fellow pupils into puppets that would terrorize me. To me, they appeared transformed, with the bloodied heads of animals stuck where their own heads should have been. I would curl up on the floor and would even wet myself. The teacher would try to console me and would smile at me, but her teeth and her eyes would terrify me even more. Things did change. I don't know why, perhaps during the second or third year of school. It was more or less in the same period that I became friends with Bruna. I remember the sensation of joy I experienced when I felt almost normal. The light isn't coming. The dreams have gone, and I have a real friend, one who speaks to me. I would repeat this to myself proudly while looking in the mirror, where I no longer saw an embarrassing reflection. It seemed to me that the world was a difficult place, but it was no longer impossible. Bruna. I did not understand what Bruna saw in me, especially as she was almost 2 years older than me. I would tell her this every now and then, and she would joke about it, saying, "Nothing. I don't see anything in you, which is what I like about you." And then she would hug me. But one day, she was sad and pensive, and said to me, "You and I are the same. Don't be fooled. You are reserved and honest, and I'm not. But that's the only difference between us. The only one." Then she began to cry. I was struck by the perception in her words, but only today, after re-examining my past, do I understand.
Oh. That was quite a disturbing image there. Oh, excuse me. So I'm assuming it'll be downstairs. think, maybe. The archives. Archives could be anywhere. Hello, archives. Where the fuck is it? Look it up. Oh yes, we get to play as King Kong. Yes, we do. Bit of a shame that section was pretty short though. Rachel! We need to go upstairs. That brings back memories. It does indeed. Does indeed. Been in here before? Ugh. Fight! Ow. Get out of my way. Door. Trophy! I got a trophy, people. Yay. Yeah, boy. Done that one, done that one.
I remember a recurring dream from that time. I used to have plenty of nightmares, but this particular one was so real that even today, I ask myself whether it could have possibly been just a dream. I was in bed, enveloped by the warmth of the blanket, in the dark, about to succumb to sleep, when I heard the bedroom door open. I turned to face the wall and did not have the courage to turn around.
Mm-hmm.
I only saw a shadow cast against the wall by the light filtering in through the door. Then I heard the door close again, and I thought that it might have been my mother who, before going to bed, used to peep in to see whether I was sleeping. However, there was no time to breathe a sigh of relief, for footsteps approached the bed, and I heard the sound of breathing close by. Fear paralyzed me from head to toe. The blankets were pulled back. I remember the chill of fresh air on my spine. Someone sat on the bed, and I trembled. Then the dream finished.
Was it a dream though? I don't think it is. The fuck?
When you were sent to a lunatic asylum, you lost the right to possess anything. Everything you arrived with was packed up and stored here, even the clothes you were wearing, in case you were released one day, but far too many never left.
Mm-hmm.
Dear Mother, please, I beg you, get me out of this place. I'm so frightened here. You were right. I know I was wrong. I understand. I'm so ashamed. If only you knew how much. But now I'll behave myself, I promise. Now things will be fine. I'll work hard. I'll be very good. Your daughter, Renee.
Not fulfilled. Didn't send the letters.
This letter. It was Renee's letter, just as she wrote it back then. But it was never sent. Why? Why did this happen? I received your letter, Mom. You tell me to be patient and strong, while I only feel fear and pain. And you don't write to me anymore. If only these words could be my soul, I'd tell you what was happening to me. The kids want to kill me. They all look the other way and tell me what to do. I don't understand. She helps me, but what have they done to her? Can you tell me? Will you help me? Renee. Montefoscoli, July 7th, 1940. My dear daughter, I have received no news from you. You have not contacted me in months. I'm sorry, but I don't have the money to come and visit you. Do you remember Mr. Onofrio? He'll soon be in Volterra for business. I've asked him if he would be kind enough to ask the director for some news about you. I hope he'll bring me some good news when he returns. But please write to me. I know that I was strict with you. You have to forgive me. I didn't think. I've given Mr. Onofrio a new doll for you. You told me that you lost yours, and I know you loved it so much. It's not as nice as your Charlotte, but I hope that it will comfort you nonetheless. Keep your chin up, darling. Everything will be fine, you'll see. Mom. Montefoscoli, October 12th, 1940. My dear daughter, I've written 2 letters to you and have received no reply. Every day, I'm anxiously waiting for a letter. Mr. Onofrio's back. He brought you the doll. Do you like it? He told me he was unable to speak to the director, but managed to see you. I pray for you every day. Even Don Gino said a prayer for you during Sunday Mass. Isn't that nice? I've made up my mind, Renee. I'm bringing you home. I've already written to the director. I told him that I'll take care of you. I'm not very well at the moment and can't work, but I'll get better soon, you'll see. And as soon as I can make the journey, I'll come and fetch you. I know you're suffering a lot, but please be strong, I beg you. Mom will come to fetch Renee, won't she? Mom is good, but she's not well. That's why that man came. The doll. Renee could have played with it while she was waiting for her to arrive, but Renee didn't have it with her. Is it one of Mom's lies? She knew that she'd hurt Renee and... No, Mommy's good. That man brought it. We've just remembered who he is, haven't we? It was Renee who was wrong. The doll's here. I know that for sure. Perhaps she's been abducted like all the others and is locked up here somewhere.
Yeah. Where's my goddamn doll?
Let's look for the second doll. It'll be among the bundles of the patient's belongings.
Wow.
Now we can open the bundle on that table in front of the window. You see? Mom was good. I was bad. Mom was worried about Renee and Charlotte. I abandoned Charlotte. We've abandoned her. May the Lord guide your path and keep you from sin. Mom.
Let's look for Charlotte. We have abandoned her. Will she still be where we abandoned her, under the warm lights?
Where you taking me? Oh. Think he drugged me.
I didn't do anything. I just obeyed orders.
I only obeyed orders.
Charlotte has gone away. Mom will come and get us now. She loves us, even though we're
orders. Leave us alone. I didn't do anything. I only obeyed orders. Mom will come and get us now. I didn't do anything. I only obeyed orders.
Even though we're bad.
Mom won't leave us alone. I didn't do anything.
Charlotte gone away.
I only obeyed orders.
Mom will come and get us now. She loves us, even though we're bad.
I didn't do anything. I only obeyed orders.
The shock treatment. Fuck. Or is that a mouthpiece? She put a mouthpiece in my gob. Oh, fucking hell. Now it's still ringing.
What was that doctor writing, sitting at his desk? September 7th, 1938. The patient frequently indulges in recriminations expressed in an explosive tone of voice. This morning she threw away the milk, saying it was full of urine, spittle, and all kinds of other filth. Crazed, she hears voices that order her to do things. She says she heard children singing and that they were locked up in a school. January 20th, 1939. Introverted, dazed, cannot focus on anything. When questioned and stimulated, she starts crying and weeping. At other times, she laughs. June 1st. Apathetic. Eats very little. She refuses to be touched. Does not respond. Spends her time in the grounds. The cooks report that she sits on a bench in front of the kitchens. October 14th. Return of impulsive behavior. This morning she asked for 2 eggs to make zabayoni, but when she got them, she threw them up in the air. Excited, clamorous, slightly confused. Takes her clothes off. December 8th. Tied to bed for 15 days.
Shit.
High-spirited. Tends to make witty comments and use vulgar words. Laughs hysterically and pleasures herself. The nurses report that about 2 weeks ago she remained in the showers on her own and didn't want to leave. They said that when they took her away, she swore at them and then lashed out and bit them. 2 nurses had to be treated for their injuries. They've kept her tied to the bed since then. Transferred to the slightly agitated ward, from the care of Dr. B to the care of Dr. C. I was with Amara in the showers. My memories are terrifying. They're not real, are they? December 15th. Dr. C. Patient notes. The abnormality of her psychic state has induced her to lead a life which is irregular and tends towards delinquency. Of fickle and flighty character, she regularly discards her household duties and engages in occasional prostitution. Prostitution? No one would have ever believed a lunatic, let alone a lunatic who lives in the worst sort of sin. Could such a person ever have been subject to sexual violence? Certainly not. Her mental deficiency makes her deaf to the reprimands of her family. She has shown suicidal tendencies. She was brought to the ward yesterday, agitated and hysterical. Treated with cardiazol, 2 injections a week for 5 weeks. They were only trying to confuse us with the therapy, and my God, they succeeded. It was as if they wanted to instill the madness into us. June 2nd. After a long period of calm and improvement, the patient is very agitated today and vehemently refuses to submit to a gynecological examination. She swears and curses those helping her, flailing her arms and hitting them. According to reports by Dr. B, the patient has been subjected to periodic checkups since she had a spontaneous abortion about 2 years ago in her 3rd month of pregnancy. Conception occurred after she had sexual intercourse with a stranger who sneaked into the hospital grounds. Details are contained in the charges filed at police headquarters in Volterra, a copy of which is attached to these clinical notes.
Yeah, say it was a stranger, but it bloody wasn't.
Therapy.
Fucking the male
That's how
nurses.
the reality is concealed. It has all been planned very carefully. June 13th. The nurses report that she descended into a state of great mental confusion after receiving her mother's letter. She threw her soup over another inmate because she was very anxious, and then punched a nurse. Impulsive, flails about her. She rails against the doctor in vulgar terms while he is examining her, lashes out and spits. Block all correspondence to give the patient no further reason to become agitated. August 20th, tied to bed. The nurses report that the patient is extremely agitated after the visit of a relative or family friend. 2 days later, she is still shouting all the time that he commands her, that she must obey and harm herself, and that she is not Charlotte. All visits forbidden, constrained to bed, and intensification of ES therapy until we achieve results. No contact with the outside. That way nobody knew what was happening within these walls.
Mm-hmm.
March 3rd. Alert, correct attitude, replies when questioned. The nurses report that the patient is calm, she washes and looks after herself. She affirms the existence of a certain Amara. She says that Amara is a patient who disappeared when she was moved to this ward. No confirmation. Probably a regressive hallucination. Evaluate transfer. Did I imagine Amara? That's not possible. She was there. I know she was there. I feel it. She must have left some traces of her presence. We can look for her things in the storeroom containing the bundles of the patient's belongings on the upper floor.
Let's go there then. Oh, excuse me.
These are Amara's things, I'm certain. Here we are together. How could I have imagined for a single moment that she never existed? Amara, there she is. She existed. She really did exist. There she is, my friend. March 12th, 1938. The young girl Renee arrived today. Poor thing, she was terrorized. You see, she remembers the first time we met. I talked to her mother, the dear lady, and she expressed her fears to me, and I promised I'd keep an eye on her daughter. The lady told me her daughter's doll had been taken away, and this worried her, because when she becomes depressed, as she is now, Renee barricades herself in her room and can't communicate. The doll becomes her voice, eyes, and ears. Dr. B said I'll soon get out of here. I'm sorry. I'm so sad to leave Renee. I won't be able to protect her anymore. My poor friend. She was hoping to be able to get out of here, but nobody ever leaves this place. That poor girl is really ill. I am the only one she ever speaks to. I told her I was leaving, and she stared at me, saying that I would never leave. It was quite unnerving. And then she started to cry. I felt like crying too. She didn't say anything else. What worries me is that I'm sure that terrible man is watching her. He was the one who brought her here, and of all the good people, why did it have to be him? She knew. I told her everything. She knew about that man. That's why they wanted to make her disappear from my life. But I instructed a nurse friend of mine to keep an eye on her, and I'm sure she will, because she's a good woman. Her friend the nurse. I vaguely remember. She worked on this ward. Let's look for signs of the nurse in the nurse's room on the upper floor.
Nurse's room. Could be fucking anywhere, that.
She worked mostly in the Marigliano pavilion. Let's get out of here and find that pavilion. Renee was alone here. Charlotte had abandoned her. And without Charlotte, Renee couldn't communicate with the outside world. Mother knew that.
Follow the signs. Oh. Maybe that sign there. The creepy looking glow in the corridor there. Oh, she's gone. Oh, maybe not. Stray Souls, yeah, I have. I'm keeping an eye on that one. Definitely. Does look pretty good. Follow the signs. What signs?
June 1935. After much theorizing and practice in clinics for the privileged, the moment for action has finally arrived. Volterra is the right place. It's an avant-garde hospital, the perfect place for a doctor who really wants to make a
Panic
difference.
House. I haven't heard of that one.
November 20th.
I'll have to check that out.
Crossing the threshold of the asylum was similar to entering another dimension. A world of smells, noises, and images which it is almost impossible to imagine, describe, or explain. August 1936. The situation is similar to that in many other institutions. The department is overcrowded. Hundreds of patients are supervised by a handful of nurses who are forced to tie the more distressed ones to their beds or to radiators. They do 24-hour shifts. It's impossible to work like this. We doctors rarely see the female patients, and it's the nurses who tell us what's happening to the women. The overpowering stench in the wards, the constant din of shouts and voices that are barely recognizable as human, dirty, naked bodies devoid of any dignity. The lunatic asylum gets under your skin and wears you down. I often consider resigning. I feel useless, impotent, a sort of merciful jailer, a mercy that helps no one and only helps to ease my conscience. March 15th, 1938. Dramas are played out before my eyes every single day, and I try to distance myself from them, and just do the best I can. But a girl arrived some days ago. I couldn't avoid her gaze. All she asked in her dignified silence was not to be ripped away from her world. And me. I'm old enough to be her father, the father she never had, who didn't want her, who rejected her without even knowing her. I too refused what she asked me. I couldn't do anything but add my signature and consign her to hell. A danger to herself and to others, and a cause of public scandal. This was what was written on the accompanying note from the police headquarters. It was difficult not to agree with it. How much more violence must this poor girl be subjected to? Her gaze is so intense, so far removed from the carefree nature which should be the joyous hallmark of her age. I cried myself to sleep in my solitude. I kept thinking about those sad and frightened eyes staring at me.
Follow the signs. What signs? Thing is though, I can't look down because I'm holding this thing. £2, Mark. I'll have a look tomorrow. I don't know which way I'm fucking going. I don't really know. Where's checkpoint?
September 7th, 1938. The patient frequently indulges in recriminations expressed in an explosive tone of voice. This morning she threw away the milk, saying it was full of urine, spittle, and all kinds of other filth. Crazed, she hears voices that order her to do things. She says she heard children singing and that they were locked up in a school. January 20th, 1939. Introverted, dazed, cannot focus on anything. When questioned and stimulated, she starts crying and weeping. At other times, she laughs. June 1st. Apathetic. Eats very little. She refuses to be touched. Does not respond. Spends her time in the grounds. The cooks report that she sits on a bench in front of the kitchens. October 14th. Return of impulsive behavior. This morning she asked for 2 eggs to make zabayoni, but when she got them, she threw them up in the air. Excited, clamorous, slightly confused. Takes her clothes off. December 8th. Tied to bed for 15 days. High-spirited. Tends to make witty comments and use vulgar words. Laughs hysterically and pleasures herself. The nurses report that about 2 weeks ago she remained in the showers on her own and didn't want to leave. They said that when they took her away, she swore at them and then lashed out and bit them. 2 nurses had to be treated for their injuries. They've kept her tied to the bed since then. Transferred to the slightly agitated ward, from the care of Dr. B to the care of Dr. C. I was with Amara in the showers. My memories are terrifying. They're not real, are they?
God knows. Right, guys, I think I'm going to have to leave it here for this part. I would have thought we might have finished this in one stream, but I'm going to have to leave it because I'm back in work tomorrow. So I shall continue this tomorrow. But yeah, interesting game. Disturbing, not gonna lie, especially with the imagery that we've seen. But it is based on actual stuff that happened at a mental asylum in a Tuscan asylum, I believe, which was eventually closed down in 1978. But yeah, it just goes to show what people do behind closed doors. But yeah, I'm definitely going to finish this off. So for now, I do hope you have enjoyed, guys. Feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe. It helps me out a lot. Be sure to give us a follow on the socials, and you know what to do to help support the channel. So yeah, I do hate having to end it here, but I do have to get some sleep. So yeah, hope you enjoyed again, guys. This is HatCHeTHaZ. See you soon with a new video.